Why is it okay if Richard Pryor says the N-word and not Joe Rogan?
I don't know. You could ask Richard Pryor, but he's fucking dead.
Oh man. What was I gonna say?
Welcome to the Morning Line Podcast.
This isn't the Morning Line Podcast.
No,
That was a audio only podcast from 2016. That
the Harbor's a shitty name anyway. I said it.
Okay. Well,
I said it.
what do you want to name it?
Kino Cast, bro.
That's already a thing.
I mean, we could. Is it a thing with 2 Ks?
Is it a thing with 3 Ks?
That's pretty good. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, we did.
Bro, I need to brush my fucking teeth.
We call it the Morning Line Podcast, I think, and
put a picture of Betty White as our header.
we would just record it on my iPhone, and like it was me, Cody, and Sumner. We would go to Domino's, like record a cast on the way to Domino's, and then there was one
uploaded?
at 5. Yeah. You can find them.
I don't know if I want to.
Then there's one where it's like 5 a.m. at the Summer House. We're all delirious, and we call Zach Lena, who's with his.
I think you tried to call me and I didn't answer because it was 3 a.m. Why would I like?
It was 5 a.m. But
yeah, 5 a.m, dog.
we called Zach Lena, and he was with his family on vacation in Michigan, and he answered the phone, and it was the most pathetic. Oh, we were like in tears. It felt like middle schoolers at a sleepover, and that's basically what it was.
Did you guys jerk off together like middle schoolers at a sleepover?
I can neither conform or deny it.
I don't like anything gay.
Gay. Well, then you won't like the movie we're about to talk about today. Welcome to the Harbor Podcast.
The sexiest movie ever, dude. I stand by this 100%. It's one of the best movies ever.
I really think you're taking the wrong message from this movie.
I think I'm taking both messages. It's a great movie, great plot, also great plot. Wink, wink.
We're talking about the Handmaiden today. 2016 film, Park Chan-wook. Yeah, Casher recommended this film to me.
I watched it last year, and it's just an incredibly powerful film. I think it might be Park Chan-wook's best film he's made. I don't really like a whole lot of super big twists in movies, and this shit fucking throws you for a loop. There's a point where I was like, holy shit, what just happened? Complete change in the whole thing, and it worked really well.
Well, and I guess we're gonna spoil the hell out of this already. But the thing is, the twist comes a third of the way through the movie, or a little over a third. Maybe like 2/5 of the way.
It changes the whole tone of the movie, though.
Which I think that's what a good twist should be.
That's what I'm saying.
Because saving a twist for the end of a movie can be a parlor.
It's done. Yeah,
for sure.
But
being able,
if it's a good twist that makes you reinterpret the movie as a whole, great. But something like that, it's how do we twist this up and then continue the other 3/5 of the movie?
Right.
I think that is much more impressive. And I didn't know much about this other than I think I knew it was a period piece. I didn't know the exact context.
I think you knew my jokes of me.
And I knew Casher talking about how hard it made him.
Man.
And I knew it was very critically acclaimed.
This is a civilized podcast. We can't talk about being hard.
We can talk about being bricked,
like I was earlier watching this movie.
Bricked the fuck up.
I was actually very connected to the story, and wasn't really aroused in that way.
No,
mainly because if my emotions are on, I can't get aroused. It has to be cold and unfeeling.
I was on what happened. The reason why I watched this though is I was on like a fucking big Korean cinema binge, like midway through pandemic and threw this shit on, and it was like I'd watched pretty much like everything besides like a couple films that Park Chan-wook had done, and I was like, oh, this one's on here too, and so I threw it on, and like 3 hours later I was like, holy shit, what did I just watch? This is so good. Like, one of my favorite movies of all time at this point.
Well, in his other films, was it Park Chan-wook? Is that his name?
Yeah, Wook.
Okay. I've only seen Old Boy. I've not seen the rest of the Vengeance trilogy, and I don't even know what else he's made. I'll be honest. I've seen Korean films. I've seen this, Old Boy, and Parasite.
Man.
Squid Game.
Oh, really? You haven't even seen like Train to Busan or
No, I haven't seen
Yeah.
Train to Busan. I haven't seen The Host. I know.
oh
It's
man.
I'm a
Okay.
I'm a
Okay.
Eurocentric.
We're here to
fascist.
learn. It's okay.
Yeah, we
I mean,
I'm-
about half the reason I do this podcast is because it gets me off my ass to watch movies I've
Right,
been meaning to
that's
exactly.
fair.
watch.
Me too. Yeah, absolutely. I was like, I'll be honest, I was like, I don't know if I want to do a podcast today, but then I remembered you guys did the Handmaiden, and I was like, yep, I'm in.
Yeah, well, the first I knew nothing about this going in, and the first act of this movie I was just completely mesmerized. It felt like like a beautiful like fairy tale. Felt like I was reading a book but watching a movie, and rarely do movies feel like that. They feel distinctly like a film, but I was like, wow, this feels like just a nice like storybook kind of fairy tale that I'm reading. A nice read, beautiful little romance, and then they pull the rug out, and I'm like, okay, hold on.
Yeah, man.
God. I mean, and this was based on a novel, by the way.
Yeah,
it is.
I'd
And
like
it was
to read it.
which is interesting. It's called the fingersmith, which is a Victorian term for it's a Victorian term for a pickpocket. It also has other connotations in the context of
I
the
didn't
film.
know that.
Yeah. A 2002 novel, but that was Victorian England in the novel. So,
Mm.
and I think there was a BBC series about it. So it's pretty well known, or some sort of series. So I think it's interesting that Park Chan-wook, I mean, that makes the movie so much better. I have no interest in seeing this movie in Victorian England because this is such a more interesting setting to me.
Yeah, because
Especially with, like the class shit in Korea is a little bit, it's similar, but it's different. And it's a little bit more, I think, a little more interesting. Plus, I'm sick of seeing white people do everything. It's nice to see.
no, it's
fucking a
just
little bit of
I
spice.
love the concept of
No, I'm cool with white people, just not the Brits.
the concept, of a Korean wanting to be pure Japanese.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's like
we're not used to
he's
that.
like a
over here in the
neckbeard
States.
weeaboo, but
Yeah, it's okay because he's also Asian.
So for our
Yeah.
viewers, we want to give a little bit of a plot synopsis before we really dive deep into this.
Sure.
Or no, you just want to leave them blind. You guys go for it. You guys just
I
watched
mean,
it.
I don't understand why you're listening to this podcast if you haven't watched the movie, but
I don't know,
it'd
man.
be odd. But basically, if you haven't watched the movie,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm trying to help you all out, man. I actually care
Okay.
about you.
I do think I always argue saying that there's a twist is in and of itself a spoiler. But the
Spoiler alert.
this movie, The Handmaiden, is a poor girl who is trying to be like a spy on this rich family and this rich lady, and then this other guy is going to marry her and then dump her in an insane asylum, and then the inheritance, that guy is going to split with the titular handmaiden, partially, and then stuff goes awry.
yeah, and then it becomes the most fucked up version of Prince and the Pauper.
Oh yeah.
Or the Barbie equivalent, Princess and the Pauper.
Yeah,
which I know by heart.
Garfield, a tale of two kitties. Is that Prince? That's Prince of the Pauper. Yeah.
Yeah,
couldn't
I
get
saw
this.
that.
I've
I
never
saw
seen that
Tale of Two
fucking
Kitties
movie.
in theaters
Why?
because I fucking had a Garfield obsession as a kid. If you're
Yeah.
listening to this, Warren, shout out to you. But I was obsessed. I had like so many Garfield books. I read all the Garfield not like comics and shit. Oh my god. And like I forced my dad to take me to see Tale of Two Kitties.
Oh, your dad? How did your
Yeah.
dad like it? Your
He was
immigrant
just,
dad.
He was just like, whatever.
I'm Team Heathcliff. If we're gonna
Okay,
we're gonna
well,
team right
I've come to
That was 2006. You were 12, and
I
you were
know,
still.
I know.
You
leave
wanted
me
to see
alone
that
about
in
it.
theaters?
now.
Dude,
Kino Cowboy
and
didn't come to
it
exist.
was like the funniest part is that Kit Hall's mom like called my mom. She said, critics gave this like an F, like this is a bad movie, and she's like, Adrian doesn't care about that kind of stuff.
little does he know.
I feel bad though, because that was probably the worst movie he ever took me to see, which is weird because he took me to see Wallace and Gromit Curse of the Were-Rabbit. It was probably the most Kino thing other than Spider-Man that he took me to see. But he probably enjoyed Tale of Two Kitties more than Wallace and Gromit. Because
Your
just
dad's
like
weird.
claymation, I don't think clicks with animation in general. He used to shit on me growing up for watching animation. As I got older, I'm like, dude, Fuck you.
You got a
Like,
weird
Does he just have this
Albanian shit that
post-Soviet
he loves,
mentality
bro.
where it's like it's not real? It's
it
not.
must be for kids.
It must be for
And
kids.
and he's like,
Damn, eight.
Pokemon's for 2-year-olds. I was like, it's not for 2-year-olds, Dad. Leave me alone.
No, it's
And,
for 28-year-olds now.
Yeah, I still
yeah,
play Pokemon.
sadly. And then, but the a few years ago, he turned on willingly Space Jam and was laughing his ass off, and I was like,
Oh,
it's
because that's
okay.
real people.
Because
Michael
if it's related to sports, it's okay. It's the Looney
If-
Tunes.
It's
did
related
watch-
to Michael Jordan, dude.
He
Michael
watched
Jordan.
Looney Tunes growing up and Tom and Jerry, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, you
but
should tell him
then
he's a little
he,
bitch. for watching that.
He
No, if you're not watching Soviet realism from an early age,
well, one time he
not a
came
real
in
man.
like 2 or 3 years ago. He came in. He's like, "You're watching cartoons," and I was like, "Dad, sit down and watch this and see if it's for parents or for grown-ups or for for kids." And it was King of the Hill, and he heard
Wow.
what Hank was saying and shit, and heard the word hell, and he's like, "Oh, okay. They curse. That means it's for people
It's
like
high
you."
class shit, Dad.
And then
Almost King of the
Rick
Hill
and
is
Morty
peak.
came on, and he was like, "Turn this shit off, dude."
I don't blame him, dude. I like Rick and Morty, but I always feel fucking bad watching it.
That's
Why?
because you're a fucking cuck.
I fucking hate the fan base for. I don't
Yeah,
know.
Oh,
well,
If you like
oh,
Rick
well.
and Morty and you're not me, I hate you.
Just because
I
I think
got counteract that. I bring my laptop into the shower so I can clean myself while I watch it.
Casher's a normie cuck. He listens to anything the neoliberals have to say.
Pickle Rick. Yeah, you
Jeez.
still like me? Still like me now?
Casher, just because I don't like Joe Rogan's echo chamber of a podcast doesn't mean I think he should be censored.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
Shout out to Matt Prime.
back to the Handmaiden.
Talk about anyway. No. Handmaiden.
What are you drinking, Scott?
Ooh,
I'm drinking it's not important. It's Aquarius Diet Zero. It's
It looked like a Star Trek drink.
it's a citrusy Spanish drink. It's the thing I'm gonna miss most about this country.
damn. you
None of
should
my
bring some.
friends,
Let
if
me
any
try
of
it.
you are listening.
You should ship them to you. Okay. Anyway, Handmaiden.
Anyway,
Um,
I like how prim and proper the cinematography,
yeah, absolutely.
until like certain things get askew and then it gets real shaky and it throws you off guard the first time because you're used to how nice and plain it is. And in my head, I was like, for a second, I was like, is there something up here? No. And then, of course, there was stuff going on. And what I love is how small everything is from the handmaiden's point of view and in the first act. And then because you just, oh man, I just love how it paints a portrait of the lady. What's her name?
Hideko.
There's Hideko. I'm pulling
Yeah.
up the cast right now. I can't.
But
remember.
which lady? Hideko is the lady. The
Yeah.
maid is Suki, or
Yeah.
Takamo is her. I think.
Yeah, we got
Takamo.
Izumi Hideko, who is the lady. The handmaiden is Namsuki, and then we got Count Fujiwara.
Oh yeah, fucking hey.
It's a cool fucking name. All the set pieces in this fucking movie are insanely well done. The erotic room where he brings in all the men to watch Lady Hideko fucking
Yeah,
basically like almost act out these erotic books that are like ancient into their culture.
Yeah. To get his niece to read that.
yeah.
It's a little weird.
Threw me for a loop
Um,
too because she seems so like polite and like, oh, I would just like to go outside and live a life or whatever. Brilliant framing for the story.
It shows a lot about like how higher classes are. If they're all prim and proper in daylight, like at nighttime, they're fucking freaks.
But
No
also
kink shaming, but like
that is
Pretty
true. No,
great.
there's some eyes wide shut stuff going on. in the
yeah,
world.
for sure.
The and also this guy's new money. You got to remember that because he Benedict Arnold or Mike Penced his way to the Japanese.
He's also a big fan of Linkin Park, which is new metal.
Yeah.
That's a
Okay.
Good one.
right?
I just they just throw they sprinkle in a few things in the first act to make you think, wait, what's going on here? Like when you first encounter the like porcelain snake and like the weird door that shuts and shit.
Yeah.
You're like, that's so kind of weird, out of place. Okay, whatever.
Was that a Garden of Eden reference?
I don't know.
man. Our
It has to be connected somehow, and it doesn't really matter that much. I can't figure it out exactly.
Fuck the
But
garden.
you're guarding knowledge, sexual knowledge,
Yeah,
with a snake.
Yeah, I can see that.
There has to be something there. I
something
mean, I
that's for
can't.
sure.
I don't know what you're trying to say. It could just be a parallelism for parallelism's sake.
I can see the app there.
You could do a Hideki Anno and just like, I'm going to include a Western thing. because
Congratulations.
Christianity is cool.
Yeah, Christianity's cool.
Christianity is cool.
Yeah, from an outside perspective, sure.
No, from a just purely historical and aesthetic and just literary perspective, yeah, the Bible
is exactly why it's so interesting and a nice change of pace for us for this to be set in, you know, Korea / Japan and not Victorian England, because we've seen plenty of period pieces like that and we're used to that culture a little bit.
Those people are
Adds a
too
little
repressed.
spice.
It's so boring. Oh my
Yeah.
god, some of this movie, a lot of this movie, I was thinking, oh my god, being upper class sounds so boring all the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, until you get your kitty ate by the handmaiden.
Because she's,
Yeah,
you know,
great
she's like
time.
Rapunzel in the tower. She stays inside all the time. She gets
Not even that, even the men, the way you have to act, and you have to wear those stupid hats. I'd rather be a peasant killing people for my food. Sounds like a more interesting life.
we can live on a fief.
When I first watched this movie, one of the big elements I enjoyed and was genuinely like seeing a pretty intense lesbian like.
Oh my.
No, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about just like a romance.
Okay.
Like fairy tale-esque. There are some pretty intense lesbian.
Well, yeah, I was like, okay.
It was cool and refreshing to see something like that. There's not very many films I've seen that have done that, because this is very, very fairy tale-esque like story.
Right.
And it's a lesbian like romance, and it's kind of really beautiful.
Well, yeah, I was worried.
It's absolutely beautiful. I was deeply emotionally affected
it's
at certain points. In
I
this
was
movie.
too, but I was worried that once the twist comes around, I was worried that love was fake. But
Oh, I'm so glad.
yeah,
I
it's
would have hated
relieving.
this movie if it was fake. I would have, because I was genuinely invested, and I need my catharsis, man. I need it. I need it, especially now in this time in February 2022. Yeah, I need it.
How did you guys feel when they brought her to the insane asylum? It was like, I switched you with lady. You're actually going to the insane asylum. Well, that shit made my heart drop.
It made my heart drop. And here's I did kind of, you had that kind of hope. Well, maybe it was just dude who piece of shit. One of my most hated characters in all cinema now. Just F that guy. Always wearing a white suit, acting like he's clean. Dude,
Fucking
screw
bitch.
that mofo. But I thought maybe it was Count Fujiwara. Maybe it was him, and what's her name? Hideko had no part of it.
Yeah.
I
more
was
complicated than that.
I was like,
I was like, what the fuck are they gonna do with the next act? And then, because that was the first third of that movie, that was like, because it's split into like 3 acts.
I think, and yeah, and even the acts are split up more. It has an interesting structure. I've probably talked about on this podcast before. I kind of hate the idea of the 3-act structure, just because I think it's too.
This is a little bit different. Like the third act is only like 30 minutes or less.
I mean, a lot of third acts in movies are.
I know, but what I'm saying,
I even think the third act's a little drawn out, but we'll get into that.
What was I gonna say? When they get to the asylum, because they built up, I can't remember her name. Whatever, the princess, we'll call her. I don't know.
Gecko.
Yeah, lady.
The lady, you know, built her up to be this like innocent person. So
she's fucking nuts.
I was like, you know,
she's been
so for the first 10 minutes of the second act, part 2, I was confused. I was like, I'm just gonna have to roll with it, see what's going on here. Now men are getting their asses whipped for pleasure. Is this real? What's going on? You know.
Fuck yeah.
And then once it goes through the motions, you see
it's
her.
jarring if it works, because at first I was
Yeah.
not liking the second act as much. And I still think my favorite part of this movie was just, I don't know, I was feeling sentimental. Watching them fall in love was, I don't know, I'm a sentimental guy.
It's really, really good. I align with that a lot. The whole falling in love shit where she's like rubbing her hand and stuff, and they're like really kind of getting to know each other better. And just she's like stripping away the repression that the lady has, because she's grown up so privileged and protected, and watching that just kind of be shed away and the true person that she is kind of appear is pretty nice.
And now it'll have a cool rewatch when you realize they both have ulterior motives and still connect in that way.
Absolutely.
I don't know.
I'll tell you, in the second act, because it doesn't, the second act, it's like it's flashbacks and stuff too, isn't it? And
yes.
Okay. It's like
it's the lady's point of view mostly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I love that shit so much. I love that we got the story from one side and then we get the other point of view. And that I love when people do that in cinema. I think it's fun. I think it adds a lot to, like, especially movies like this, adds a lot of depth. Wasn't expecting that in the second. And when you get to the final parts of the second act, you're like, okay, I see what you did there, bitch.
Yeah. I was like, okay, so they are gonna actually run off together. Yeah. Okay, great. My heart was full again. Okay, good. Fucking, and then I did not expect for
Michael Jordan to be in it.
No. For dude to fucking be bound in that basement with his fingers getting cut off and shit.
Yeah, fuck. I forgot about that. That's intense.
It took a fucking
giant
turn.
Fucking squid around him and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just
so was the implication that he was like putting it on women to sexually
fulfilling a fucking, he's the original hentai freak.
Yeah, that's in like cult. I think it's Japanese culture. There's a lot of old depictions of that shit. Like that's one of the very first like pornographic fucking materials, is watching octopi fuck women.
I wonder if Park Chan-wook accidentally was exposed to hentai at a young age.
Who knows, man? We all were.
Or not accidentally. It did amaze me. I was thinking, like, so this type of porn used to be the exclusive domain of the rich and powerful, and now it's
they had to
porn
listen.
and technology go hand in hand.
Yeah,
they always have.
I mean, imagine the only way you're gonna get like a erotic arousal is from listening to someone describe something, and that's like a big fucking deal for you.
I like that little boy. Would you guys join a boys club like that where they get women to read out?
Not if it's fucked up, but
what if it's all just fan fiction?
If I lived 100+ years ago, then sure, why not? I'd listen to a girl read sexy stories. Shit.
I
don't know.
Not if it was if it was my friend's niece, no.
Yeah, that's fair. There's no joke there. That's fair. I wouldn't want to do that. I was really cathartic. It was really fucking cathartic for me watching her destroy that whole fucking room.
Oh yeah.
All the ancient texts, just like millions of dollars worth of fucking ancient text, ancient horny material. Watching her go through and just fuck everything up. This is Hideko at this point. She's going in there and she's like crying and wailing, and she's finally able to just destroy every part of that little area because she was abused there. And it's fucking man, I was like, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah, we get to see her as a child and her trauma growth.
It's crazy. It's sad, and you understand her a lot more. You may understand some rich folk a lot more. I know there's probably shit similar to this still happening today. Maybe not quite as hentai.
At some point, I do think, yeah, for sure. I do think I don't have a lot of sympathy for the rich, but I do think those born into rich families, that is a lot of pressure.
Yeah, well,
that is put on you. And
they can put that pressure on me if they want. I'm up for adoption. 28 years old, don't do a whole lot of shit, but I can make you happy.
But
Maybe.
I do think being born with, you know, a powerful last name or in money, or you have so much responsibility. It's certainly better than being born poor, but I
Speak
think
for
a lot of
yourself.
people don't sympathize with that. Of course, if you're, you know, have a
Fuck.
weird sex cult thing going on, then my sympathy goes out the door.
Right. Well, so basically her aunt was murdered. She didn't kill herself.
She's murdered by that dude.
Yeah. Because the
uncle.
little kid, she's like, well, she didn't shit herself and she didn't, you know, her neck wasn't. Anyway, I don't know. Why was she killed? I guess for stepping out of line too much.
I don't remember exactly.
I think the uncle was killing her so specifically he could marry someone he could kind
Or
of
so
manipulate.
he had all those like petrified genitalia in his like secret basement. So like,
Who doesn't have that, man? I got one of those.
how do you collect? Was he collecting genitalia?
Yeah,
I
he
think
probably collected some. He bought some, I bet.
the reason
Yes.
why he wanted to do that, it's Fujiwara that kills him, right? Or is it the it's been like a year and a half since
At the end, yeah, at the very end.
yeah, okay. I think that it has to do with like because she's pretty young when her mother dies, right?
Yeah.
So I think it has to do
No,
with
her mother died giving birth to her. Her aunt is the one that was
okay, and
hung by the tree.
so she was pretty young whenever her aunt died, though, right?
Yeah.
So I
still a
think it
kid.
has to do with like grooming Hideko into being the woman that he can easily manipulate,
Okay.
and steal that
Yeah.
inheritance and throw her in the fucking asylum, basically. I think that has a lot to do with it because basically she's like raised by the person who is trying to, you know,
Yeah.
make sure everything is
He's
in
a
order.
fuck.
Yo, count fucking
Noticeable old makeup, but whatever. You know, it is what it is.
Not everybody can be Luke
I weirdly
Skywalker.
think that added to his character, though.
Yeah.
I mean, even though mostly this film is very naturalistic, the I don't know, it for some reason it just reminded me of a theater villain.
Yeah.
Just stark makeup,
Like
it worked for me. I don't know why.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah, just know, you know, this guy's bad because eyebrows.
Yeah.
What are you
Oh,
saying?
man.
Um,
What else?
I don't know, man. You guys just watched it. Bring some shit up. Remind me.
Well, I think we skipped over a lot of stuff.
Yeah. Reel it back.
Okay, so let's go to this point where they are falling in love, and Hideko, knowing what the handmaiden is trying to do, trying to rob her, basically, is asking why will you, basically is testing her faith and saying, you know, will you leave me, or will you let me marry this man, or do you think I should still marry this man? And she says
yeah. And then she tries to hang herself.
yes.
That's
This is another example of
that's a red flag, Suki. Let the bitch hang.
This is a codependent relationship, guys, not healthy. But well, that's another example of the generational trauma repeating itself. Kind of reminded me of Hereditary a bit in that, just because it's about generational trauma.
Yeah, that's fair.
I guess that's where the analyses end. It also reminded me of The Last of Us Part 2, because you see it from a different perspective halfway through.
This is not a video game podcast.
And also, Last of Us Part 2, like this movie, is full of a bunch of SJW BS. Ooh.
Is it?
Does
No, I love
BS
that
stand
game.
for bisexual?
Sick.
No, I love this stuff. Let me ask you this. Did you guys think any of the sex scenes were gratuitous?
I think they had meaning, but they were. I mean, it's an erotic thriller. Like it's.
I didn't ask if it was an erotic thriller. I asked.
I
if you
don't
thought they were
think exactly
gratuitous.
it's gratuitous. I just I think Americans are pussies, and that it's okay to be sexy and to display sex.
Yeah, for sure.
If it would have like,
if
if it would have been like, you know, but
I mean, we got some pretty.
maybe the scissoring is a little much because I
The
don't know.
scissoring was too much.
I don't know any lesbians that actually scissor.
That's the
more
thing.
of a
That's
sex
what I
thing.
thought. Because
Well,
here's the thing. That actually took me out of it because it was such a male gaze thing.
yeah,
That's gonna be the thumbnail for this video.
Is scissoring. But no, I'm the same way. Every queer woman I talk to, I'm like, do you guys really scissor? And they're like, it's not common like in porn. It's not just the mechanics of a finger is a lot easier than weird gymnast yoga contortions getting up on each other.
I like to scissor.
And I also think it's interesting to watch. And I almost think that's a very male way of thinking of like, oh, I'm gonna jam my genitalia into their genitalia. Because that's what we do.
Hyper. I don't know. Maybe it was on purpose. I don't know why it would be, but
I think it was a bit. There might have been a bit winking at the camera, or knowing it was ridiculous, and that. So that was a bit
fucking.
Well, it's so weird because like it starts off so beautifully with where she takes the sucker and she like touches it to she's like, oh, this is what he would like, right? We got to practice. You got to figure this shit out. And it's like, oh yeah, would he like this? And then she touches her breasts and stuff. I think that's cute and beautiful. And then it just kind of escalates,
Well, because here's the thing, in Act 1, in Part 1, when they do that, I do think it's beautiful. It's more restrained. It's still, sexual. And it's not that I'm prudish. It's just at a point, if your sex scene makes me think of the director, I'm automatically, you're losing verisimilitude. I'm out of the story.
So there was actually some controversy with I'm on the Wikipedia page right now. There's if you go to the reception,
pull that shit up, Jamie.
Response to the explicit scenes. I'm just gonna go read this small little paragraph here. It says the film's numerous sexually explicit scenes between the two main female characters spiked some controversy. Laura Miller at Slate described the scenes as disappointingly boilerplate and featuring visual cliches of pornographic lesbianism that the actresses' bodies offered up for the camera's delectation. However, the New Yorker's Gia Talento said that the women know what they look like. It seems they are consciously performing for each other, and Park is deft at extracting the particular sense of silly freedom that can be found in enacting a sexual cliche. So the scissoring may have been intentional.
Well, here's the thing. I like from the first perspective in the act, you don't really see much except for them and their emotions. And then in the second act, it's all laid bare before you. You see her actually touch the bare breast and lick and stuff. It's a little more explicit. I don't know. It opens.
I think
up
that has to
more.
do with like Hideko. Like Suki is not quite as sexually repressed, and Hideko was, so it seemed a little bit more like.
Well, here's the thing.
Freeing.
I think part of it also is Hideko was not as repressed as
we thought,
as was thought in the first act, but then also realizing that her only real sexual experience is from male fantasy.
Yeah,
so her discovering real sexuality.
Yeah, I like that.
Not something that's prescribed to her. So her thinking she's the more experienced and then realizing not really. Although she certainly knows something that she did. Here's the thing, and we're jumping right to the last scene of this. I did not like, and maybe you can change my mind, that this ended in a sex scene between the two characters. I thought it was tonally, it was too silly. And here's the thing, they were reenacting a kink described in one of the Uncle's Pervy books. So it seems like, I guess you could argue that they're reappropriating that for their own pleasure or something.
That's what I was thinking.
We're taking it back.
Well, I guess they're taking it back, but still, it didn't do it for me. I wish they had focused on a more straight emotional, less sexual, less kind of goofy.
Yeah, honestly. I'm also in the same boat with the ending.
It felt a little goofy because I
had more issues that they got on a boat to go to fucking China. Like, let's go be more free in China.
The Imperial Japan had some stuff in China. I don't know about Shanghai, but I don't know.
What the fuck?
I doubt that was their last stop. Do they speak Chinese when they stick out?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Good luck.
I can't imagine a lot of people speak English there. That time. I don't know. does Hideko speak? She probably speaks a little English. She can get around, you know. But this is before we kicked Nazi butts and took over the world.
So one of the things I
Yeah.
want to talk about is how they get Fujiwara gets the uncle, or isn't it the uncle that brings the dude down to the basement? We talked about it briefly about the cutting the fingers off, and the dude, he starts to pull out a cigarette to smoke, which, you know, is common and thing, and it's laced with
Mercury.
something, mercury to blow up the whole fucking area. I was
He's like,
super into
his
that.
dying words were, "At least I can die with my cock intact."
Yeah,
I was like, damn. I
Hey,
mean, fair
man.
enough, dude.
That's fair enough.
Because like,
I'll be honest, if I had to die and I had to choose between cock intact and not, I don't. Here's the thing.
what are we getting
But
into
what
now?
if? Would you rather? Would it be better to have your cock preserved for all posterity in a jar?
No,
You know, so everybody
Like
can
what's his
No.
name?
admire it.
No.
Rasputin.
Fucking
You
what's
need your
his
dick in the
name?
afterlife.
Rasputin?
Yeah, Rasputin's penis.
Maybe.
Really?
I don't know.
didn't
Mine
know.
wouldn't be that
Yeah.
impressive.
His penis is like well preserved.
Well preserved and well endowed.
Is it like what? What is it preserved in? Like honey?
Honey? You think it's honey? Are they?
you
You think
think-
they're making baklava? Russian
That's what I'm saying, dude.
baklava?
You think we could take a swig of the juice that's been fucking fermented in?
Are you
fermented
gonna break
Russian-
into?
Yeah, that'll
like-
be our next film, as the TML boys break in to steal his penis.
We've heard it has psychedelic qualities. We gotta try that shit.
It's like
Makes
the
your
pick of
dick grow.
destiny. It'll make you really good at disco, like the Rasputin song.
Oh yeah.
Rah, rah, Rasputin.
I didn't hear that song until like 3 years ago.
That's a great ass song. I don't think anybody did till TikTok brought it back.
Nah, I had a girl. It was in Just Dance, and a girl I dated was into it.
Yeah, well,
Just
How's-
Dance.
how's that going?
Just Dance.
They made the Wii title for that up until like 2020. Isn't that insane?
Yo, we
That's
should.
insane.
This is where we should splice in Justin Murdoch playing Just Dance at Annie Criswell's
Oh
house. If
yeah.
you got that, splice that shit into this.
Fucking classic. He got into it.
I got into it. I miss
Yeah.
rhythm games. I miss Guitar Hero.
I didn't fucking ever play Just
Probably
Dance.
should have got a lesbian on this cast, but you know, I don't know.
No,
any lesbians.
I was
All I know is
thinking.
fucking filthy bisexuals.
I feel weird asking. Here's the thing. Maybe it's just liberal white guilt and it's misplaced, but I feel weird being like, "Hey, do you want to do a cast with one of your people?" Like, I don't-
Yes, this is why I said this is the reason why I want to do a Mel Brooks cast, is so we can throw in Blazing Saddles without having to feel like we have to have a token black guy to talk about.
Right. And there's plenty of stuff. Well, it's like that the harder they fall is like, not that I have a lot of black friends, but do I just want to reach out to my black friends like, hey, do you want to like explain all this to our
Be on this cast, not other casts, just this one.
just this
Hard to
one?
they fall is
Just
a
all
little
black
more
cast.
accessible. I think it's not like we're watching fucking Selma or something like that.
Well, I will say Selma.
Yeah.
I will definitely say the fact that that is American and this is Korean probably makes a difference.
I'm talking about just like we can
I don't know if I
watch
know.
Hard Wall without having
Don't they
Yeah,
have
I
any
know, I
Koreans?
know.
like you know.
It's okay.
No.
What are y'all going into? This is a weird conversation.
Hey, whatever, man. I'm a free thinker. I don't know about you.
Free thinker, man. Free love, dog. Oh shit.
I only know Japanese people. I don't know any Koreans though.
I don't think there are many Koreans around here
In Arkansas.
in Arkansas.
Not unless you watch Minari.
Oh,
Yeah, fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
They're around
I was
here.
gonna make a joke, but I
They're
don't
on
know.
Techuan. If you live in Madrid, you'll know that. Anyway, this is getting weird.
Okay. It can be whatever you want.
What
Would
yeah,
you
I
recommend
really
this
think that
movie?
ending is the only major mark of the film. Did you feel was the torture scene at the end, the torture porn scene at the end? Did any of that jump the shark? Did this movie at any point jump the shark for you?
No.
Well, at first I thought it was like a jump, but then I started thinking about all the minute clues spread out through the film and the buildup of this guy and his library, and then you hear about the basement, and then you see and you realize like her aunt wasn't actually she didn't actually kill herself. So there's enough to sprinkle in there, I think, to lead up to like, oh, this guy's fucking crazy. He's got a weird fucked up basement.
I liked how poetic it was, because they like, for most of the movie, that basement's like fucking like you can't go there, like off limits. It's like a temptation thing a lot of the time.
It's alluded to.
So it was cool to see what was actually in there.
Rich people in their basements in Korean movies, man.
Yeah.
This is Parasite. There's just never going to. If I've learned anything from these movies, if you meet a rich Korean, stay the fuck away from their basement.
Yeah. I do want to say that I think more. I wish that American audiences could embrace more foreign films.
For sure.
Yeah,
I think that we're missing out a lot as a culture, because we always, just be like, oh, it's not fucking Steven Spielberg, Christopher Nolan.
We bring this up anytime we do a foreign film.
Yeah, because we're fucking better.
Yeah.
We're better than you, listener.
We read subtitles, so
I mean, and I say I live in freaking Europe.
Europe, bitch.
But yeah, I know. But I talk to Europeans who don't like reading subtitles, and it baffles my mind.
It does. Everybody's like, it takes away from watching the actual film, and I use subtitles for like American shit and like English.
No.
I like subtitles so much. I watch the Japanese dub of American films with subtitles in English.
Sick.
That's the only way to do it.
I don't know.
I'm that Kino.
I'm with Parasite winning, the Best Picture a few years ago. I hoped that would bring American audiences more towards watching things that are subtitled or things that are foreign. And I don't know if it's actually done that. I know a lot of people who I would have never expected to see Parasite,
Sure.
Love.
I wish Netflix would have doubled down and had Squid Game start in Korean with subtitles. Instead, they started it in the dub.
Yeah, I think that's just regional.
I know, but like, still,
yeah. If you go to Korea, it's
well, obviously
in Korean.
I'm saying I wish they would have been like, "Hey, Americans, this is and then
I'm just happy that Netflix is like they're doing a lot with like foreign TV and foreign films lately.
Well, they have to. They got to spread around the globe, get their tentacles everywhere.
Yeah, spread
like
that
in
shit.
The basement.
Yeah.
One thing I found interesting is that this movie was not so, and it's ridiculous the rules for this, but for the Academy Awards, every country has one submission to the Academy Awards, and this was not it for Korea.
What was
it? Interesting. No, not for that year. It was some other.
I'm saying, what do you know? What the
I don't remember. It's another. Here's the thing. It's another period piece around the same era.
I'm gonna look. See, 27.
You can't of like spies and trying to. I don't know. You know that stuff.
I'm just curious to know what it was, because of submission Korea would have been the 2017, because this came out in 20. Oh, it was Taxi Driver, or A Taxi Driver. That's
I was like, hang on.
No, it's a really good fucking
Taxi Driver is a really good Korean film.
This has got what's his name? Fucking, he was in Parasite. Song Kang-ho. He's in a lot of fucking good Korean films. He stars in it, and I would honestly suggest this one too. Super good movie as well.
I do wonder how much Korean film, how much good Korean cinema is there that doesn't make it over this side?
I've been trying to kind of find.
I'm sure plenty.
I'm sure plenty. Well, and that's one thing I noticed. I've said it on before here.
Yeah.
People, of course, here in other countries are way more likely to have seen Star Wars or Back to the Future than Lady Bird, obviously. Which is interesting, because then people kind of get this sometimes notion of like what American filmmaking is. I'm like, hey, there's
Lady
actually
Bird.
you can find stuff. Lady Bird.
Lady Bird's okay.
It's good. But
there are better examples.
I've been trying to seek out foreign films, just in
Slackers by Linklater.
Mid.
My ass.
I've been trying to find been taking suggestions from different people online for foreign films that don't quite make it over here quite at all.
Oh yeah.
I watched a horror film the other day called Demons. I think it's like Polish, and that one, didn't really get any recognition here. It's one of the best horror movies I've seen in a long time. Genuinely scary, and it's like, how does shit not hit? How it doesn't come over here and people aren't receptive to that just disappoints the fuck out of me a lot of the time. But you got to seek shit out, man. Do your research,
Well, a lot of it, yeah, the internet helps a lot. But before then, heck, only recently in the past few years in Little Rock were you really seeing Bollywood films get released.
Which is fucking awesome, man.
Yeah.
Bollywood films are the shit.
Great.
Well, here's the thing. Even the biggest blockbusters in the world, no one over here knows. Like fucking The Wandering Earth in 2019 was like China's highest grossing movie, like almost ever, like $600 million like movie. And I watched it and I was like, wow, no one's heard of this over here. No one even knows what this is.
Yeah.
Like
I had heard of it, but only because I'm in this. Yeah, they have the Wolf Warrior and all that stuff. No, there's a ton of stuff. There was some comedy in China that's in the past couple of years was one of the highest grossing movies.
We've only Stephen Chow is one of the biggest directors in China. We've only ever really seen 2 of his movies over here with Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer.
I saw The Mermaid.
Yeah, I'm just saying the big ones that we've seen in theaters over here would have been Kung Fu Hustle and Shaolin Soccer. He's got a huge, a pretty big filmography.
And I had to go to an art house theater, like a nonprofit theater to see.
And that would have been fun. I would have loved to have seen The Mermaid in theaters.
It was great. I loved it.
Yeah, that's a good movie. Hoping to see us branch out more as a culture, but I am always prepared for disappointment with that.
We'll see. We'll see what happens when Trump is reelected.
2024.
The revenge tour.
Oh my God.
More like Montezuma's revenge, am I right?
Wow. I'm looking at the top highest grossing films in China of all time, and most of them are all Chinese films except 2 of them, which are Fast and the Furious 7 and 8.
Fuck yeah.
And number 20 is Infinity War.
Did you guys know Dom Toretto is going to be in the new Doctor Strange movie?
Man,
I hope not.
He's not.
I could see it happening.
Why would that happen, Scott?
If they make the fucking Fast and Furious crew canon to the MCU, I'm done.
Yeah, that's probably where I'd
I'm peacing out.
Off. And then they put Voldemort and Rey Skywalker in it too. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Don't call her a fucking Skywalker.
That's her name, dog.
I don't know. Ray shouldn't. No, fuck Ray.
Ray Starkiller.
Hey, put Starkiller
cool.
in there. And then you
Put
can
some
put like
Starkiller
Garfield and Heathcliff, and you can put whoever in the movies now. That's awesome.
Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights.
Good one, Scott.
Why did you make that reference?
Talking about the cat.
Why did you make the cat? Why? Well, we talked about Garfield.
I paired Garfield.
You go directly to Wuthering Heights.
I was confused first time when you said.
I swear to God, you've got AP English fucking trauma. Right now.
I probably do. That book. See, I was confused earlier when you were talking about Heathcliff.
Google Heathcliff the cat.
I thought you were talking about Wuthering Heights. I'm not joking. I thought
that's
you were talking
so fucking funny to me, Scott. That's so great. That might be the most on-brand thing you've said the entire time.
Oh, I didn't know that guy's name was Heathcliff. Like the character from Wuthering Heights.
I love that. Holy shit.
He's a morally dubious womanizer.
Park Chan-wook, though, we talked about it earlier. He has done a lot more. So if you do end up watching, or if you haven't watched, anything by him, he did Old Boy, which is his most famous work, which is part of a trilogy called the Vengeance Trilogy, which is Sympathy of Mr. Vengeance, Old Boy, and Lady Vengeance.
Let me ask you this:
Yeah,
is Old Boy the best of that trilogy in your opinion?
My favorite one of the trilogy. Yeah.
Adrian, have you seen them all?
No, Sam has, and I think he likes Lady Vengeance.
I've heard maybe from him, and also You remember my friend Alan? He says he likes one of them, maybe Lady Vengeance more.
Yeah.
But
That's fair.
I do feel like, oh man, Old Boy. I had it spoiled for me before I ever got to watch
That
it.
sucks
Which is,
ass because
I
that
didn't,
movie blew my
thankfully.
fucking mind the first time I
yeah,
watched it.
but
And I was
let's
like
not talk about
16.
it. If for some reason you're watching this and haven't seen Old Boy,
I was
but-
16 when I first watched that and fucking like finished it and like walked out of my room at my dad's house and was just like, I gotta leave this house for a little bit. I gotta go find something to do.
I was watching this movie and I was wondering how would my family react to it, and more importantly, how would my family react to it if I watched it with them?
That's a no family watch. That's
This
a,
is not
Yeah.
a family watch.
you know,
That's
I'm
Unless
like
you have
a-
a really messed up family,
Yeah.
like an Arkansan family.
like any family on porno.
It's like when when Justin went with his mom and dad to see Wolf of Wall Street.
Jesus fucking Christ.
No, no way.
I felt
Yeah.
uncomfortable seeing that with like the girl I was with at the time. I was like,
For
turned
people that
over.
don't know, Justin's family are very, sheltered, suburban. Yeah.
wink.
You know. So you can imagine his fear when Margot Robbie walks out completely naked, bare ass
Do you
pussy.
think the Duggars would like the Handmaiden?
There's not enough incest.
There's some.
There's not enough.
Yeah, well.
God, why are we bringing the
We'll call
Duggars
this
into
one moderate incest. Okay, that's
Moderate
how we'll rate the movie.
Yeah. Is this the ESRB?
Yeah.
Jesus.
What is cartoon mischief? What is that one always got me on the back of the ESRB.
It's like when you have a big hammer that you, instead of hitting things, you click it open and a boxing glove
Yeah,
comes
it would
out.
be like violence, tobacco use, comic mischief.
I'm telling you, it's the Acme products. It's like throwing a fucking black dot on the floor and someone falls through it. That's
I do love comic mischief. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
the dot on the floor, classic.
Yeah,
that's good
I showed
shit.
Parker Roger Rabbit a few weeks ago for the first time.
We should
liked
do a
it.
Roger
I
Rabbit.
rewatched it. For some reason, it was okay when I watched it.
Okay,
Fucking
we should do,
sad.
me and Adrian should do
Yeah.
a Roger Rabbit cast.
That's a fucking historical movie, Scott.
I know it is.
one of my favorite movies of all time. I
Yeah.
love
know.
it. I know.
Incredible acting from Bob Hoskins. with
Bob
the-
motherfucking Hoskins.
Fucking
Hey,
insane.
super first name Mario, last name Mario Hoskins.
It is Mario Hoskins, isn't it? That's stupid. Come on, man.
Come on,
Um,
man.
Do we have anything to add to what's the name of this movie?
No, dude, I'm trying to talk about Jessica Rabbit now.
Oh, real quick, just before we stop talking about Handmaiden, please, audience, watch fucking foreign films. I
Yeah.
think it's super
No.
accessible.
or just watch our podcast.
No, just American movies, please.
No, only Occidental. That's my
also,
new meme.
it's
only
crazy how many how easily accessible a lot of these Korean films are, because like this is on Amazon Prime. A lot of the Bong Joon-ho or whatever his name is.
Bong Joon-ho.
Yeah, there's a lot of his films on Hulu. So you have in an Old Boy and stuff's on Netflix. It's really not hard to get a hold of these films. So put in some fucking effort.
I'm
say
gonna
war.
real quick, if I can find it,
Mhm.
plug. There's a YouTube channel that has a lot of older public domain Korean films. If you want to see some deep cuts,
Yeah, you should send that to me.
I will.
I didn't know this existed. I
see
want
if
it.
I can find it. I don't think they're the best quality.
I don't
you know,
care. I've
It,
been watching.
it's gonna be.
I've been watching. Dude, I spent like about a month watching nothing but like Asian cinema, and some of it was
Oh,
really bad. Some of it was great.
Whoa.
Okay,
Yeah.
my recommendation is this film from 1960. It's a Japanese film. It's called Jigoku, which means
Oh,
it's called The Sinners of Hell in here in American. It's the fucking coolest goddamn movie. The first half, you're like, where's this going? And then it fucking breaks underneath you, and you get the coolest imagery I've ever seen in a movie that old of like hell and shit. It's
Oh, I've
fucking
seen this. Yeah. Okay.
sick as fuck. That movie rules. I want to
Yeah, that shit's
rewatch it.
fucking badass. I do need to rewatch that.
One of those
too.
movies that was made to be a Tumblr photo set. Shout out
Yeah, that's a
Tumblr.
good way to describe
Yeah,
it.
you know.
Yeah. Okay.
So advanced for its time, not with just its effects and imagery, but just hell is kind of a touchy subject when it's
Yeah.
outside of traditional
The movie is
King James values.
Right.
the movie is like genuinely fucking scary too. Like some of that imagery is really fucked up.
Yeah.
The YouTube channel I was trying to find
Yeah.
and had trouble finding
Let's
is
go.
called Korean Classic Film.
Oh, that's easy.
That's
Yeah, I
pretty
know,
easy.
but
Probably could have
I'm
just
stupid.
Googled something like that for
You
myself.
could have Googled Korean Classic Film.
I'll
That's
do it.
on here. I mean, they have hundreds of movies from the 60s and on. the
HBO
50s
also
for-
has a lot of really good streaming. Japanese
Not in
films.
Spain because we live in the third world. I do. I don't know.
Man, HBO's got a shit ton of really good samurai films.
I'm
and-
leaving. Yeah, well, not all
Kaiju
East Asian
films.
cultures are the same, Casher. I had to tell that to my kids today because
Okay.
one
We're
of
talking
our,
about
one of our-
fucking foreign films, Scott.
one of
It's
one of
okay.
our
you
vocabulary
so
words
pressed?
is chopsticks, which the Spanish just call Chinese sticks. Now I have to explain that.
Fuck.
I literally have to explain to my kids that like Japan and China are different. Like
Oh,
they're not.
No,
They're
I'm
not the
just kidding.
same. Yeah, debatable.
That's fucking funny.
it's
Yeah, tell that to the victims of the rape of Nanking.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. If anything, movies like this tell me it's fuck being a woman and fuck being a woman in the 1930s or whatever this is.
1910s, I think. Right?
1910.
I thought
It's the
I don't remember.
1910s, 1920s.
because they're still lighting shit with like
Yeah, give me a second.
lamp oil. and shit.
Any movie where it's a woman before like 1980, and even that's pushing it.
Yeah,
I'm just like, I'm just
y'all,
like, this seems terrible.
y'all, this movie was filmed in 2016. What are you talking about? 1910. It doesn't give me a date on the wiki.
I don't know if it gives an exact
Doesn't
date.
matter.
It kind of doesn't matter. I kind of saw it as the interwar period.
I was gonna say I thought so too.
think so.
Yeah,
I think
maybe,
so.
maybe it's a bit earlier.
I don't know, man. That doesn't look. It looks like 20s or earlier to me, but
Could be.
I could be wrong.
What year does
Although,
the Handmaiden-
Towards the end, her haircut, when she had her hair down, it like looked like a modern Korean style.
So
for a
we are
second.
real quick, we are all wrong. It was in 1930s Korea. I mean, I guess Scott wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
That's literally what he said.
I thought he said I thought he said 1920. You're
No,
wrong.
30s.
No,
Adrian said 1920 because he's dumb. Because he's
That's
wrong.
right. Yeah.
idiot.
Because I know my history.
This is technically her story.
Ooh. Yeah. Well. Anyway. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
We're very on subject. We never go off subject. Beautiful Kino podcast, The Harbor.
You know, I appreciate going off subject. I
Sure.
don't really want to talk to you fucking people about movies.
Adrian just doesn't have improvisational abilities.
Right. Yeah.
All right, audience, what am I holding? I need suggestions. Anybody?
nut-
This is a
Sack.
stand-up cast
Oh.
only.
I'm not doing nutsack. That's wrong.
Speaking of nutsacks, I watched Jackass 4 last night.
Oh, was it good?
Was it good?
Yeah.
Of
I'm
course. I
gonna,
need to
I'm
see
gonna go
it.
see it.
There's a scene I couldn't watch. I had to look away.
And I will probably throw up.
I dry heaved.
Yep, I will probably throw up. Pretty on brand for me.
And then
We
I don't know
watched
if y'all saw that news story that came out, but there was a stunt where Johnny Knoxville had like a
Brain
concussion,
hemorrhage.
went to the hospital.
fucking gnarly. It took him months to recover from that.
Yeah, and he like apparently he took like a dementia test and like scored lower than real actual dementia patients after that accident. Dude.
God damn.
Fucking insane. I really hope he
this
fires after this.
20 I was gonna say 20 years from now, we need a Jackass movie where they all just commit suicide in fucked up ways.
This
The
is the
only way
best.
to top it.
That's
This
what
is
I'm
the
saying.
best torch passing movie of all time, except they don't even pass the torch. They do most of everything themselves. They just have a couple of new people in there.
Fair enough. I can dig it.
Uh,
Can you dig it?
You know, like normally in the movies, Danger Aaron only does like a couple things in and out.
He's the brunt of the joke.
This movie, he gets fucked on the whole movie, and I feel bad for him. Like he does some
Did you
fuck
not,
shit.
dude? He gets fucked on every movie. Like
I know, but
literally.
like he's in this a lot, doing horrible shit.
Yeah, well, it's danger era, and no one likes
Scott,
danger
that's
era.
cultural appropriation talk. You got to take that off.
What culture, Adrian?
Hispanic Jew. I don't know.
Did you guys hear Whoopi Goldberg
Shamalama
said?
ding dong.
Did you guys hear what Whoopi Goldberg said about the fucking Holocaust? Yo, I saw someone tweets like, "As a Jew, I'm taking away the Goldberg," and that cracked me up.
Oh, I
That's
just
funny.
her last name is Goldberg.
That's
Yeah,
funny.
mom changed it so she could get more casts in Hollywood.
So she can make more money.
Yeah,
Ooh.
it's kind of fucked up.
I'm not commenting on this one.
Whoopee.
We have a we have a anti-Semitic slant here at the Harbor Podcast.
No, we don't. 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 God, don't fucking say
take
shit
that
like
for what
that.
you will. I for one support Joe Rogan in all of his endeavors.
You've been on a
And,
Joe Rogan.
I don't know if
from
I
the
support
dead.
him in all of his endeavors.
No. I heard that Planet of the Apes story he told. That was fucked.
Yeah.
That's rough.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere though.
No, I just
Man shouldn't have put his shit on Spotify, and no one would have ever discovered anything.
well he was like, I'm putting this on Spotify, no censorship allowed whatsoever. And now it's like 70 episodes have been deleted.
Spotify's like, I've altered the deal. Pray I do not alter it further.
Yeah. Fucking A, dude.
Fuck you, Joe Rogan.
Man, I'm fucking starving, man.
Yeah, I just stop recording this.
No.
No, just kidding. I just ordered food. I haven't eaten since like yesterday morning.
Hmm.
No, I
Next
ate
week.
half a burrito last night. Dude, I ate a dank ass burrito last night
Really?
at a Mexican place I'd never heard of in Fort Smith.
Damn.
And it was fire. We'll have to go, dude. It was a
Fuck.
California burrito. Ooh,
For some
I had
reason-
that. Dude, their large beers are fucking 32 ounces, and I had no idea, and they're only $7.
So for some reason, when I lost my wallet, couldn't find it, I went on the app and locked my card, and just in case. And then 2 days later, I found my wallet, so I went to go unlock my card, and it says you have no cards attached to this account. I was like, well, that's what. So I called my bank. And I was like, hey, can you see what this is about? And they're like, yeah, we can unlock your card for you. Would you like us to do that? Yes. Okay, it'll be 30 minutes before it works. Still, it didn't work yesterday or today. So now I'm gonna have to wait until tomorrow. I'm gonna have to go up there physically and see what I'm gonna do.
You don't have any cash?
Well, yeah, all I have is like $12 on Cash App
Oh, nice.
because all my money's in the bank.
That
So I'm like,
sucks.
well, fuck me, I guess.
You
So
got
I'm gonna have to
food?
figure out what to eat today until I can go to the bank tomorrow. Fuck Sundays. Why do Sundays have to be like this in America, dude? Anyway,
don't know,
Worse
man.
here.
worse how?
Sundays?
Yeah,
Nothing's open on Sundays.
yeah.
Or if it is, very limited hours.
That's crazy shit. Anyway, this is supposed to be the 21st century. No, whatever. Anyway, thanks for listening. I've already said that. I'll probably cut it off before anyway, but thanks
Yeah,
for
fuck
listening
you
just in
guys.
case.